The chilling 911 call after a man was involved in this accident. A report on January 27, 2014 states J trailer hit a guardrail head-on in Hillsborough, North Carolina. These pictures show the front of the car smashed and the guardrail ribbon going straight through his seat. He lost both his legs. Court documents filed by his attorney claim trailer hit an ET+N terminal created by Trinity Industries. These pictures show the same thing happening to other cars when it shouldn't have. The Federal Highway Administration approved the ET+N terminal design in 2000. At some point, the design was changed, reducing the width of the feeder chute from 5 inches to 4 inches. The FHWA states they first heard about the change in 2012 when the owner of a competing guardrail company questioned the FHWA on the changes.
Their lives were shattered because of somebody's greed. These people's lives will never be the same.
That man was Joshua Harmon. According to attorneys close to the case, in 2011, Trinity brought Harmon to court for patent infringement. During the case, Harmon found the changes and started hearing about the accidents allegedly involving the ET+. He filed a whistleblower lawsuit against Trinity, claiming the company did not tell the federal government about the design change, and says the change is causing the N terminal to lock up and send the ribbon through the cars.
The American public should have never been exposed to this. The regulators dropped the ball. They failed. They never caught this.
In October 2014, a Texas jury found Trinity Industries defrauded the federal government and ordered them to pay $175 million in damages. Trinity is appealing the verdict. The same month, the Federal Highway Administration ordered a round of crash tests to be done on the ET+. This is an aerial video of the crash tests shared with us by ABC News. This final one came under scrutiny by some because of the extent of the damage to the test car. According to the crash report from the FHWA, the ET+ passed all the tests. Following the release of the results, Jeff Eller, a spokesman for Trinity Industries, referred WHSV to this statement dated March 13, 2015, reading, quote, "The ET+ system has been successfully crash tested more times than any product of its kind." The guardrail is approved by the FHWA for federal reimbursement for states to use. But in October 2014, Eller says Trinity halted production and shipments of the ET+.
That's a 4-inch. That is a deadly terminal.
Harmon drove with us in the Shenandoah Valley, and in just a few minutes, he pointed out what he claims in the lawsuit he filed are the ET+ terminals. He even got out of the car to measure it for us.
But you can see 4-inch.
And show us the sticker with Trinity's name on it.
They are trying to put a Band-Aid on this and say no harm, no foul.
I reached out to the FHWA. A spokesman emailed me saying they could not meet me for an interview, but directed me to this website for more information, including the crash data.
Marshall Herman with the Virginia Department of Transportation tells me the ET+N terminal was approved to be on our roads back in 2000. However, the 4-inch N terminal is not approved to be on our roads. She says they first found out about the modification back in 2013. She also tells me there's a plan in place to remove any N terminal if they deem it necessary, but so far that plan has not been put into action. She also tells me crews will investigate any accident involving any N terminal on our roads.
In December 2014, Virginia Attorney General Mark Herring filed a complaint against Trinity Industries for, quote, the sale of unapproved highway safety equipment. The release from his office goes on to say, quote, it is shocking that a company would think they could secretly modify a safety device in a way that may actually pose a threat to Virginia motorists. The lawsuits, crash tests, and media attention prompted United States Senator Tim Kaine to get involved. He says while his knowledge about guardrails and N terminals is limited because he's not an engineer, he says he wants to make sure unapproved safety devices do not end up on the roads and slip by federal and state government leaders.
I think there were probably failures, at least the initial evidence would suggest there are failures up and down the system. And again, there was a contract to purchase product to a certain specification, but then it looks as if the specification was changed and that there was actually producing product that didn't meet the specification required, and that led to a safety compromise. This is an area that we owe the public to dig in and get them a better answer.
these deadly terminals has to be inspected and determined which ones are faulty ones, which ones were not approved, and get them replaced.
As long as these end terminals are on our roads, Harmon says he will continue sharing his concerns and hopes accidents like trailers don't happen again. In Harrisonburg, Morgan Donnelly, WHSV.